Hello, everyone. This is Alan Whitford from RCEURO, bringing you another in our series of recruitment thought leader conversations. Today, we're joined by the legend himself, Matt Jeffery. Mr. Legend, how are you?
I'm not too bad. The sun's shining and all is good apart from an ash cloud in the atmosphere.
Fantastic. I'm so glad I'm not flying. Last year at this time of the last ash cloud, I was supposed to be at a conference in the States, and fortunately, I got stuck on this side, not over there.
Ah,
Matt, it's interesting. You're at Autodesk now. Many of our viewers will, of course, remember you from the great work you did at Electronic Arts in the past, even
thanks.
to winning the famous Recruiter of the Year award last year, a title you sadly had to give up last week.
Yeah.
But why don't you just tell us a little bit about who you are and what it is that you actually do for those that may not have heard of you?
Okay. So I was at Electronic Arts, a video games company, for 8 years and focused on two phases really, helping them build up their European recruitment function and team, and then moving on to their global employment brand and getting them savvy with social media and being able to project them to new target audiences. After the 8 years, time for a change and moved to Autodesk, not the most instantly recognizable of brands, but when you consider some of the stuff, it is very sexy. So if you look at the last 15 visual effects Oscars for films like Inception, Lord of the Rings, Avatar, the Pixar films, all powered by Autodesk software. And if you look all around you, the sort of the cars, a lot of the buildings, the bridges, even handbags are designed by our software. So the good thing is coming into a new company, lots of challenges to get the employment brand out there. And that's my key focus, a double role here at Autodesk, building up the European EMEA team and also, again, focusing on the global employment brand. Lots of good challenges.
So that's a great set of challenges, I think, being able to make the impact on the global brand.
Yeah,
Because so many times, as you and I both know, working for American type companies, it's quite easy for us to be given, here's our brand, do with it what you can.
yeah,
So you've got a great opportunity there, and I think that's very exciting. You're right. I mean, Autodesk, I know of it because I'm a Formula One fan. So,
yeah,
so I think about the guys that are sitting there, in their black box designing the next wing that they need to put on their car. But quite honestly, before you went over there, I had no idea about the impact that Autodesk has on entertainment, on gaming, on a lot of other areas that it does impact.
yeah. And that's a good thing for me is that when I looked at it, a lot of people, like you said who, but it's almost like going into an art gallery. Lots of beautiful paintings around you, hidden away in the corner under a tarpaulin is Autodesk. It's then great. All the good stuff's there and it's sexy when you get into it. You just got to get people to actually see it and appreciate it. And that's an easy part of the challenge in many ways.
But where do you see some of the challenge then? I would expect for the tech hiring, the techies know about Autodesk, so in one sense that's possibly not as much of a challenge, but it must be more of a challenge for sort of the other half of your recruitment of companies that may never have heard of you, particularly locally or
Yeah.
even regionally.
Yeah. The good thing is with all the industries effectively converging, if we need a great marketing director, a great marketer, a great salesman or sales director, that could come from a number of industries. So it could be at Coca-Cola, could be over in PricewaterhouseCoopers, could be anywhere. So we need to make sure that those people, when they're starting to think of career moves, think Autodesk, which at the moment they don't because they're not appreciative of the brand and have a knowledge of it.
Well, you probably even have some challenges just recruiting locally there in Farnborough. When we came down to visit you a couple of weeks ago, I can't believe how big those sort of office estates are. There's a massive number of employers there.
Yeah. And that's a great thing. A good, strong local talent pool getting out there. And as you saw, it's quite a sexy area to actually have an office based on the edge of Farnborough Airport.
Right. Well, I did see your plane come in while you were there, waiting to whisk you back to Kent. Or not, as the case may be.
I wish.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wish.
Well, Matt, one of the reasons we wanted to talk as well is that you were our headline speaker at the Social Recruiting Conference 2010 last November during the blizzard, and you really kicked things off with a dynamic and power-packed presentation. And sadly to say, this year we've relegated you to the bench, where you're in one of the discussion groups. Not really the
Yeah.
bench, but I think it's going to be quite interesting to have you sort of keep that discussion group alive. And, at the conference this year at the end of June. what did you how was your experience last year? You've talked at a lot of conferences, you've attended a lot. What were your sort of feelings about what SRCONF delivered for you, and what you're looking forward to this year?
I think it was a collection of great speakers at the last conference. The venue was superb. It was a great amphitheatre feel, so it felt that you're actually engaged in a good, strong discussion. And I love the fact that, unlike a lot of conferences, you had two large screens with Twitter feeds where everybody in the room was tweeting and engaging content, great speakers, and a sort of really engaged audience. Ingredients for a great conference.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. And obviously, we're excited about the fact that we're live streaming it again this year. And we do have a team of people that are going to be there actually sending out their tweets on a regular basis and blogging live to both the RCEURO site and the SRCONF site, and which is, to me, is quite an exciting way to do it. And you've actually gotten your hands around Twitter again, so I expect you'll be bouncing a few tweets out during the day.
Definitely.
Yeah. What are you looking to get out of this year's? Are there any of the people, we've got people like Frank Lepinta from Societe Generale and Man coming over from Intel. Are these the sort of people that you're excited about getting together with as well?
Yeah, I mean, there's some great speakers there this year. And the key thing is that social media has moved from a fringe issue or one of those nice-to-have issues into mainstream now. Mm-hmm. And it's now going on from everybody appreciates that you need to be on it and using it, but now it's how do you engage people in it and build those communities. And the guys at Intel are on it, the guys at PepsiCo, we heard from people like Nokia, all people coming to the conference and great people who can actually get us inspired in it. So I'm looking for those new ideas to actually come back to Autodesk and hopefully take them to the next level.
Well, I think that's great. And of course, we've got you on a panel that we've provisionally sort of titled Implementing Social Recruiting Strategies. Michelle Rhea is coming down from Sweden. And we'll have a couple other guest people on that panel as well. Because you've had some great experience of that, where you were very early doors into using social media with Facebook and the groups you built, which I think a lot of people today are still struggling to figure out what does that actually mean, and are struggling to figure out that they actually need to have a strategy, that they don't just go do this. Yeah.
Which is, again, the key thing is that what's lying ahead from here. And so one of the things that is strong for me is mobile recruiting and mobile engagement and mobile communities. So, it's great to be able to actually start to engage with those communities. How do you do that on the move? So I think we're moving ahead. Some companies are falling behind. And, the interesting thing is that they're going to reflect when they start to see their ability to attract the best talent is starting to fail. Then those recruiting leaders and those recruiters are going to have to play catch up.
Well, and I think you're right. I think the mobile piece is going to be interesting with Katie from PepsiCo, and depending on whether or not the recruiter guy is in the country or not, we may have him on Skype like this as part of her presentation.
Brilliant.
And I know you've been very active in mobile as well. But I think there's some other people that I've talked to that are going to come to the event who've got a different perspective on mobile, that isn't just about the devices. It's actually about the website itself.
Yes.
And if we don't have the website really properly functional for mobile, then it doesn't matter how good our mobile app is. We're going to lose people there. And if we don't have a good back end, we're going to lose people there as well. So I think it's going to be great for some interesting discussions.
No, you're right. And it's like going into battle. If you haven't got every bit of toolkit and every bit of armory in place, you're not going to win. So the key thing is that mobile, social media are all part of the overall big picture, which you need to put all those parts in the jigsaw all together neatly. Hence the great thing about this conference, people are going to walk away with great ideas and hopefully feel inspired to actually make a difference.
And you're right, and I think what's also going to be interesting is getting the perspective of some people. As we said, we've got people coming from Israel, from France. We got Wolfgang Reckwitter coming over from Germany, and
Brilliant.
Wolfgang used to run the internal talent management piece for SAP before going independent. So we've got in Sweden, we got views coming from around the world, which I think is also interesting to look at. It's not just about the big guys. It is everywhere, and that's the sort of, I guess, where we might see social really does reach out, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the interesting thing about the small guys, as you use that term, they're less hampered by internal bureaucracy and big company politics. They're agile, they can be fresh and come up with the ideas and actually lead the way. So it's not just about the big companies. The little companies are where it's at, and we should be hopefully learning from them at the conference.
Brilliant. Well, I'm really looking forward to your participation throughout the day and leading up to the conference as well. So how can people find you, Matt? What's the best place for them to get hold of you?
So again, you can find me on Twitter and look up @Mattjew, and the Jeffery spelled Jeffery. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on LinkedIn. Hook into any of those, and I'll be happy to engage and discuss things with you.
And what about that, what I might call, the old man's communication thing, the email?
Yes.
Are you reading your emails at all? Can
I
people
read
get hold
my
of you that way?
So again, my email is mattjew.jeffrey@autodesk.com. So again, feel free to reach out. But I hope to see those people watching this at the conference, which again promises to be one of the legendary ones that you, Alan, set up. So looking forward to it.
Thank you very much, Matt, and appreciate you spending the time with us today.
Brilliant. Take care, buddy.
Thanks.